Is now the time to buy US Treasury Bond TLT? The market closed in the red on Wednesday after the Fed raised the rate another 75 basis points. S&P 500 fell 1.7%. Nasdaq was down 1.8%. However, TLT was up 1.68%. DXY was up 1%. Made a new high of $111 per share. Wall Street is selling down. Tesla, Apple, the rest of big tech, big banks, and Lululemon. They are selling down these stocks not just because the Fed is raising rates into 2023, but because of China and Taiwan. Think about what these stocks all have in common. About the Fed's plan, I have a dot plot that will show you everything. I will explain it all right after this. And of course, smash the like button. If you want to be my good boy, apply to write your first book with me. Welcome back, everyone, to the Audacious Money Witch channel, where we talk about macroeconomy, stocks, bonds, and commodity markets. If you like any of these markets, please consider subscribing. It's totally free to do so. And of course, tap the like button if you've enjoyed today's video. This video is brought to you by my Patreon. If you are a sweet boy, go to patreon.com/magicalgoddesscheryl to support my work. If you want to be my good boy, apply to write your very first book with me. Author of best-selling books, Goddess Cheryl. My good boys always obey, and they always do everything I ask of them. They never say no. You will get the encouragement you need to be on your author journey. Let's talk about dot plot of Fed rate projections. Check out this chart. The Fed has a median expectation of 4.25 to 4.5% for the end of 2022. That's another 1.25% rate hike to be expected for the rest of this year. It's sort of insane, to be honest. The Fed then anticipates one more 0.25% hike in 2023 to 4.5 to 4.75%. Who could have seen this coming? Based on the highest debt load in the world has increased in the past 3 years, it's quite shocking, but so far the US 2-year yield has officially above 4.09%. Check this out. On Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, it actually spiked up to 4.12%. We know the Fed funds rate is following the US 2-year yield. So it's not hard to imagine this dot plot might be achievable. Check out today's yield curve. The 2-year yield is the highest among all other bond yields. The long bond yield is based on inflation expectations, which is essentially oil price. If oil drops because of deflationary demand shock, like March of 2020, or another global crisis that could potentially shut down the entire economy, then oil will fall. The Fed will drop the rate to stimulate the economy again. Long bond will surge. That's the idea of buying TLT now. Plus, you can see from this chart, TLT has reached to the head and shoulders pattern target of 104 recently. It could be the bottom. From the daily chart, you can see there is a bullish divergence forming on the MACD as the price went lower, the momentum going up higher, meaning the price might move up higher in the future. We will see who has more power. Is it the Fed or the oil cartels? Keep in mind, rate hike operates with a lagging effect. Right now, we have already seen a sign of deflation. Price of gold has dropped to $1,659 per ounce. Of course, I am not talking about the price of real physical shiny gold. You should stack those, by the way, just in case. Because Putin upped the stakes in Ukraine with threats to use nuclear weapons, if necessary. He also ordered the mass mobilization of Russian citizens for the war. So this war is not ending anytime soon. Putin orders a draft and threatens to use nuclear weapons in Ukraine? What? Russia will use all the instruments at its disposal to counter a threat against its territorial integrity. This is not a bluff, Mr. Putin said in a national address that blamed the West for the continuing conflict in Ukraine, where he said his troops were facing the best of Western troops and weapons. In his speech, Mr. Putin cast the mobilization as a response to what he called a decades-long Western plot to break up Russia. In his 15-minute speech, Mr. Putin stressed that he was ordering only a mass mobilization of troops by calling up active reservists and specialists whose military experience was needed to support what the Kremlin still calls a special operation in Ukraine. Speaking on state television shortly after Mr. Putin, Defense Minister Sergei appeared to prime the Russian population for a protracted war. All our weapon systems, including the nuclear triad, are fulfilling their tasks, said Mr. Shoigu. He said the draft would amount to 300 reservists who would be deployed to help secure the territories Russia is occupying. Desperate times and desperate measures. No one knows what Putin will do. He may not even know himself. But it's pretty clear he will not fulfill his dream of putting a puppet government in Kyiv. How much more pain will Russia's top military brass will take before they've had enough of Putin? A coup at this point would not be shocking, but neither would 3 more years of stalemate. At the same time, US President just sent a bold message to China. US forces, US men and women would defend Taiwan in the event of a Chinese invasion. If in fact there was an unprecedented attack with US soldiers, will be at war with China. 2 of the largest economy will be at war with each other. This is not just me that is saying that. This is response that is coming from Chinese state-owned media. China's daily editorial. It actually wrote, the brinkmanship of Washington, if taken too far, risks triggering a war between US and China. Brinkmanship is an extreme strategy of trying to achieve an advantageous outcome by pushing dangerous events to the brink of active conflict. Imagine the war happens in China. How will Apple, Amazon, Walmart, and Lululemon, how are they going to get any products to ship to the US? Where are you going to buy your next iPhone, TV, shoes, and yoga pants? The shelves will be empty then. At that time, China will focus their resources on making more weapons, arming their forces. They will definitely not be making any more products to sell to Americans. The shutdown in their shipping industry is holding up global supplies now. When the war happens, global supplies will be standing still. Chinese companies have received billions in loans and investment from Wall Street banks that may not be paid back when the war starts. How is that going to affect Wall Street and the stock market? The global economy and trade will be shut down once again, just like in 2020. When the war happened, who's to say if the Chinese government won't take over all of the US factories in China when US soldiers are at their doorsteps? Okay, now I'm going to show you my client, Juliana Wood, her book, Burning in the 2020 Flames. This one is all about a story, and it is all about 2020, so. And this is my client, Tina Kadish's book, 7 Steps to Thrive in Life and Business, Freedom, and another incredible book. And my client Taddy Eazzy's book, Wicked Pussy Perfume. This one is an erotic novel, another incredible book. And my book, Time Awareness and Secret Millionaire by Cheryl Zhang. Another incredible book. And You Hold the Magical Key to Your Success by Cheryl Zhang. Another one of my books. Another incredible book. I've sold so many copies of this one. So this one is one of my special ones. I just love the sunset here. If you want to be my good boy, order your copy today. Order your copy today. Place your order right now. And please leave a review. So I thank you for being a fan. I thank you for liking my video and commenting on my video. And I hope you have enjoyed my video today. Thank you for watching. Bye. A bellicose address to the nation comes after officials in Russian-occupied parts of Ukraine on Tuesday announced plans for Russia to annex 4 regions in the country's east and the south. The move would allow Mr. Putin to describe a Ukrainian offensive on that territory as tantamount to an attack on Russia.